Kia ora team, and welcome back to DayZ Builds, where I take you through some base building schemata and some means and some methods and some resources and some ways of getting things done. So here we are down at the admin base, and I showed you the layout for the admin base at the beginning, and don't mind the wall panel. I started on one wall panel to just check something out. So I've gone around and I've gathered a lot of stuff. So every panel has 20 wood, and I know we don't need 20 wood for every panel because we did discuss that. But I've grabbed as much wood as I can. I've got every panel has got 20 wood. The nails are sort of randomly distributed. Some of them have got 99 nails, some have got less than that. That doesn't matter because we'll sort out the nails as we go. Any excess that are left over we'll carry into the next build and we'll move along. And the watchtower is here. I have added some nails, but I've added 20 planks to every area or every panel so that we can have a look at one of the watchtower builds as well. So a lot of this this took a bit of time. It took some time, ably assisted by Quartermaster C Money, obviously, in gathering some of this stuff together. We've gathered an awful lot of planks, and I've gathered about 300 or so planks of my own from lumber piles just down the coast. So what we have here is an awful lot of lumber, an awful lot of things, and an awful lot of construction that needs to be put together. And I don't intend to have you watch me do every single piece, but we'll do a couple of pieces. So let's do this wall because I want to show you how this is done. So I have a hammer in my hand. The hammer is in pristine condition, which is jolly good. And when you approach the fence, you get some options. You've got to build the lower frame, build the upper frame. Build a platform, build a lower frame. So what we want to do is we want to build a lower frame. Normally you would hear some hammering noises. I don't know why it hasn't. I've checked my sound things. This is what I was checking this thing for. I've checked my sound things, and everything seems to be working, so I don't know what the story with that is. Now that we've got this frame, this is how the wall comes in. It doesn't come in one piece. So it comes in with this frame out of planks. It's good that you can do that out of planks. You're somehow making timber poles out of planks. Anyway, let's not worry about verisimilitude. So you've then got another option. You could build a lower wooden wall, or you can build an upper frame. Now, if you're thinking you can't jump these, you can't. I was going to say you can't reach over them, but to a certain extent you can. In that, if there was a piece of, if there was a barrel sitting here that was open, you could potentially reach into it, or if there was a crate sitting here, you could pick it up. But you can't. You can obviously shoot over the top of it. And you can obviously shoot through the holes of it, but you can't actually jump over it. So it does create a sort of an impassable barrier, but this is not what we want. So what we want to do is we want the upper frame because we want to build a full height wall. So quiet. I'm used to it clunking along. Right, we've somehow managed to build a wall. Build an upper frame, I said. Anyway, carry on, not paying attention. Right, there we go. So now we've got the full height frame, and we've got some of the wall. This is the protected side. This is the inner side, obviously, and we've got one last bit to do. Right, there we go. That's it. We've got our full height wall. We don't need our little hammer anymore. You will see from over here that we are now down to 2 out of 20 planks. We used 18 planks, and take it from me, we used 36 of those because we started out at 49, if you remember. So there you go. Our little hammer has come down a state to damaged, which is a bit of a nuisance because you can't sharpen these things. There's no way of repairing them that I know of. But there you go. So that's it. That's how you build a wall. That's how you build a wall. There's a lot of wall panels to be built. I do not deny. Um, so that's that. Pretty straightforward, wouldn't you say? You've got some excess. You can pick those up. That's not a problem. You can pick it up into your hands. There you go. Pick up the plank, pick up the stuff, and you can wander off. You can then add things like camo netting. You can add barbed wire. You can do all bits and pieces. We'll have a look at that. We'll have a look at that later. But that's it. I mean, that's what the base is ultimately going to look like. We're going to have panels all down the side. So let's have a look at watchtowers, because watchtowers are slightly different. We'll do this. We'll do this watchtower over here, which is more full of stuff. So let's start with our little damaged hammer. So you'll see here that over with the watchtower we have a base and we have upgrades. So what we want to do first is we want to have a look at what we're going to build, and the first thing you have to build is the floor, and that constitutes the base. So just so we're 100% abundantly clear so that we can measure this out, the current amount of nails in the base is 70 and the planks are 20, right? So let's build the base and see what happens there. It's still very quiet. Right, there you go. That's a base. I know it doesn't look like a base, but there's a base. So that's a base, and the base took up 10 planks and 20 nails. Now then, we've got an upgrade, we've got an upgrade, and we've got an upgrade. But let's see, what does it want me to build? It wants me to build stairs. That makes sense. Let's build some stairs. There you go. There's some stairs. So that still took it off the base. So for the stairs, we went from 50 to 32, which is 18 nails, and we went from 10 to 4, which is another 6 planks. Now then, what we have here, obviously, is somewhere that we can come up to, and somewhere that we can do things with, which is jolly, jolly good. But we're missing some walls, is what we're missing. So, we've got a lower frame here, a lower frame here. Don't appear to have a lower frame here. Okay. Maybe we don't have enough nails. So, yeah, we have no nails. Okay, I don't think we need any more nails, so let's move the nails, over here, and let's see. Yes, there we go. Right, so we've got 3 walls. I don't need this wall in here, because this is internal to my base, so I don't need to worry about this wall. But I do need to worry about this wall. So we want to build the lower frame. So this should be, we've got left, front, and right. This was right. So I think left we can take the nails off, because that's this one. So we don't need that. So that's front. So if you remember when we laid this in, well, maybe you don't, but when I laid this in, this was the open side. And then this was a closed side and the other closed sides. So I did it so that it was open facing in. So this is the open side. So front is ahead of you, right and left, I do believe. Yes, that's correct. Just getting my bearings correct. So let's get this built. No, let's do the lower frame first, shall we? Lower frame. And this is just going to be pretty much exactly the same as the wall, I do believe. So this is the right-hand side. Let's do another frame. So that was 8. So that's 16 nails to do the frame and 8 planks. Need to build a wall now, which is the same as a wall. So it's exactly the same as a wall. That will be the same. Yeah, 16. And that was what was that? 4? Let's have a look. My little hammer's gonna get wrecked real soon. There you go. It was 5. It was 5 planks. 5 planks for the lifts on the outside, which makes sense. And I'll put some summary of these in, and we'll cover some summary at the end. So this side will be the same for the front. So the front currently has no nails, so we'll put some stuff in there at the front, and we'll be able to make the front. And this gets me up on top, but once I'm up here, there is other things that you need to do. So I'm gonna whiz ahead and do this at speed, and then we'll have a look up top. Right, so now you'll see that there's something else. There's a second floor base. So you can keep lifting this, and I'm not exactly sure how high you can lift it, but I'm prepared to give it a go and see just how high. I've seen some towers that are pretty tall on modded servers. Like I've seen watchtowers that are 5 or 6 lifts tall. I'm not exactly sure how high a watchtower can go, but I'm prepared to give it a try in the name of experimentation for the admin base, and we'll see how it goes. But it's essentially the same process, and it's essentially the same amount of stuff for every lift. So you still need to get your 4 logs to go to the corners. You still need, obviously, a floor above. I think you can do a roof. And then you need stairs, and then you need planks around the edges and various other bits and pieces. And we will most certainly get to that in due course. But for right now, I got a lot of walls to build. So I'll see you in a bit. So it looks like there's a storm coming in, and before that arrives, hopefully, I want to talk about gates. So I want these two panels here to be gates. Now, it would be great if we could get rid of the posts in the middle and make these like a single double wide gate, but I haven't found a way to do that, so I'm not sure about that. But what I want to do is I want to show you how to do that. I've obviously got 3 more watchtowers to finish building. I don't think my soul hammer will survive that process. I might have to switch to using the back of a hatchet, and that's okay, because if you use the back of the hatchet, although the condition is becoming damaged, you can still use a sharpening stone to fix it. But let us look at gates. And what you need for gates is you need wire, and you also need pliers. Now, I don't have pliers in that barrel, but I do have pliers in this barrel. So these are in pristine condition, which is jolly good. I see we've also got some nails in there, and I'll bring an extra wire just in case. So let's go and find a panel we want to make a gate out of. This is one of our panels that we want to make a gate out of. Now, you've seen before that it says there that you've got a wire. So if you drop the wire on the ground and you drag it in, which again, I find it's the easiest. I mean, you can attach it, but sometimes I find with this stuff it's just so fiddly to find the right spot, it's easier to drop it on the ground and do that. Now, to make the gate, you need the pliers. Once you've got the pliers, it gives you the option to build the gate. There you go. There's a gate. How about that? Now, the thing is, this gate is also going to open the same way. So you're going to end up with the 2 gates. You can't do a double opening gate the way I would like a double opening gate, like hinged on this side. The only way to get a gate that hinges on that side would be to flip it around so that it opened the other way, and that isn't going to work. So that's fine. That's fine. I'm gonna have 2 gates. See, I'm trying to find a place to. There you go. There's the attachment point there. Get my pliers. You cannot. It does not give you an option anywhere to choose where you're gonna put the hinge. So it's always gonna hinge to the left. There you go. So there you go, a double gate. So that means that I can park one truck in one side and one truck in the other, and I don't have to keep negotiating one gate. Or, well, I can do whatever. Anyway, that's the plan. 2 gates. So now you know how to make gates. Right? We'll talk about locking gates a little bit later, but there you go. Gates. Wire, pliers, gates. Marvelous. I've got some more watchtowers to build. Right. Well, there we go. There's the base compound secured. So we've got all of the wall panels in, and we've got all of the watchtowers in. They don't necessarily all face in the same way because of some various clippings and things when I was trying to get them to land. So these two face inside this way, and these two corner ones face inside the other way. But I mean, that's not too bad. I mean, we're not gonna hold that against us, are we? We're not, definitely not. So you saw there that I had to switch to the hatchet because I ran out of hammers. So this has cost me 4 hammers so far, and 1 sharpening of the hatchet. So I guess the one of the hammers was not in great condition. So according to my reckoning, I was getting about 4 or 5 panels to a hammer complete. And in terms of wall panels, like these wall panels here, and in terms of the hatchet, I finished 1, 2, 3, 4 with the hatchet before I sharpened it. So I think you get like 1 extra panel using the hammer, which is what I said. So I would say 5 panels to a hammer, 4 to a hatchet is probably the way it would kind of stake out. And you might get more off the hatchet if you're taking it to ruined, but if you don't want to take it to ruined, you might want to err on the side of caution. So yeah, so there's the basics. So like I said, where's my gate? Wrong one. Sorry. Let's go around and have a look at it from the exterior. So it's looking pretty solid here. We got this gap here, which people can see in through. I'm not desperately sure that they can shoot through that. This is obviously a solid corner. This looks good. This wall looks good. Got a little gap here. Got another bit of a gap here. So we got some bits and pieces. Gaps here, gap there. But, you know, not too bad. Not too bad. I want to get these watchtowers lifted and give it a kind of a more of a kind of fort-like appearance. I mean, it looks pretty good now from the fort-like appearance. You can't jump this. You can't, even though there's a thing up there, you can't jump up over gates. You can't climb over gates. But they could put a watchtower and climb up, but you can do that anywhere, as I've said. So there you go. There's our little base. Now then, we did mention stuff about barbed wire, didn't we? So, let's see. I have some barbed wire in here somewhere. Right. I think so. Let's talk about barbed wire and gates. So, barbed wire. I have a roll of barbed wire. If you want to get barbed wire on a gate, you can either put it on the top of a gate, and the same goes with walls. You can put it in the top or the bottom, right? So if you come up, there's a way to attach it down here at the bottom, which will put it on the fence. But it's easier again to use this thing if you want to move it around, in my experience. So I want this on the top, and then I get my pliers. And you need to find the wire, and down near the wire, when you hold on the wire, it says mount. So you hold that down, and it will make a whole load of noises. Really, rada, doodle doodle. And there you go. You get barbed wire on top of your gate. Right? And if you want to secure walls and things, you can put barbed wire all the way around. And it prevents people building a watchtower like this and then and climbing over the top. You know, it doesn't actually take that much. I had to build walls on this, but if you're just building a base and the floor and the stairs, it doesn't actually, you can carry all that in a big backpack. So you can like rock up with a big backpack, dig all this stuff in, and jump into someone else's base. And I've done things on base raiding and how you can do that before. So there you go. So that's that. So yeah, anything else that I need to tell you guys about in terms of that? Camo netting. I think I have a camo net. Let me just see if I can grab it for you. Right, so I have in my hands here a camo net. Find your fence, hit attach. There you go. One camo net. One camo net on the outside. If you want to go down that way. You know, it kind of makes a difference, I suppose. From a distance, this kind of thing sticks out. But for me, again, it's a nice to have. It adds a little element, but this is going to be quite obvious. I'm going to build some little tower posts up here. That'll be the next thing that I've got to do. So it's going to stand out. But if you're in the woods and you have a really small kind of low profile base and you throw some camo netting on it, it can sometimes make the difference between something that's quite obvious and easy to see and something that people might miss on a slightly cloudy or dark or foggy day. Right. Wow. There you go. This has been fun. I'm gonna get some more logs and various things together, and I'm gonna work on the next lift of the towers, and that'll be the next thing we have a look at. So I will see you shortly from your side of things. Well, welcome back, and here we are up on top of our watchtower, and you can see we're already progressing with some of the other watchtowers. So, how do watchtowers work when you get up here? Well, there's a couple of things that you probably need to be aware of first, and that is adding the logs. So, when you get up here, you don't get an option to add the logs, and if you just drop the logs, the watchtower disappears. So you can't do that either. So, what you need to do is you need to hold the log in your hand. Select it with X, L1 across, and drop it down manually. So you're sort of dropping it manually directly from your inventory or your hands directly onto the base. And that's the only way I've found that you can add it on. I've not found any other way you can add it on. And the same goes for everything else that you have to add to the watchtower from here on in. Now then, what do you do here? Well, from here, because when we did down at the bottom, we did it with shovels, right? We're not going to shovel into wood from here. So what you need is you need your hatchet. But where do you point your hatchet? Well, you point it at this gap out here. Oddly enough, above the logs that says build base. So we'll build the base. Right, there you go. So now we've got this. Now I've got the pillars up. That's going to support everything, and you can see we've got all these things up, and we now have the rest of the watchtower, which has certainly come into place. So what you need to do now is go through exactly the same things as you have done before. If we want stairs to go up another level, we're going to need stairs to go up another level. We're also possibly going to want a top as well, so you probably want at least a top to protect you possibly from the rain, and then you're going to want to upgrade. Now, right, back again. Right, so we're up on top of this watchtower, and watchtowers can go 3 high. So this is 1, 2, and then there's another one above this, and then there's a roof right at the very top, and that makes it 3 high. So what do we want up here? Because you could, depending on the watchtower, you've obviously got this option here. So you're gonna want, I'm gonna want to build my my first lift. So let's build the first lift. So here's where the build floor thing is. I got my hatchet, and we're gonna build away, which looks like we're trying to chop our own fingers off, but we're not trying to chop our own fingers off. Right, there you go. So there's the watchtower floor right above me. I'm going to want stairs, so let's build the stairs. Right, so this now takes us up to another level. Woo! Let's not fall off. Right, so you could, in theory, if you wanted to, you could block this all off again. You could enclose it all on 3 sides. And if you were building a watchtower for defensive purposes, that might be something you want to do if you're only going to go to the very top. Because you don't want people taking shots at you while you're walking up and down the stairs. You can then obviously, as I think I've said before, you can use this area here to put barrels and crates. I've definitely been to bases where they store crates in the watchtowers. Can't speak for barrels, but certainly crates. But for us here, we're probably going to go with just like, this is stairs to take us to the top, so we're just going to put the rails, the frames around. So if I was to look to this left here, and we build this frame, it's the equivalent of like a like a safety rail around a set of stairs. You know what I'm talking about. There you go. See, so I can't actually fall off, which is convenient because I don't want to fall off. And knowing me, I would probably fall off. So we can do the same on, I believe, the other two sides. Exactly the same. Where's that rail? It was just literally just there. There it is. Build lower frame. Right, that's that lower frame, and then a lower frame here. Lower frame. Right, there. That doesn't look too bad. That actually looks pretty good. I like that. That looks good. If it had triangular cross members, it would look brilliant, but it doesn't. So there you go. So 21 and 83, 104. 104 from 57. Well, that'll be the 18, won't it? Or something. 36. I can't remember. My math is bad. No, it'll be 24, won't it? Because we had one frame, which is 18. No, it's not. It's 9, 9, and 9. 27, I think. Something like that. I'll need to go back and check my math. Ooh, and we're all the way up here, which is kind of worrying. And we got base. So we're on third floor base. They call it third floor because they're thinking about America, and they're not thinking about people like me who come from a different country, where we have a ground floor and a first floor and a second floor, not 1, 2, and 3. Anyway, this is 3. This is, I think, as high as it gets, and then there's like a little peaked roof over the top, which makes it look groovy. And that's funky. Let me just go outside and take a look at it from outside. I bet it looks funky from outside too. Oh yeah, that looks good. That's got style. And I still think you can hang camo nets on it, even when it's like that. You know what? I actually have a camo net here. Let's give it a try and see. Let's give this camo net. So the camo net can come off, and I think you can go up here and where are you, Mr. Net? Camo net. First. Front. Oh, yes, look at that. And that's good. That's good if I can get down off here. Take a run around the front. That's pretty good. It makes it look pretty good. Like Camp Basic. Right. Blimey. Okay. So we got more to do because this goes up one more level and then there's a roof and I don't know what that looks like yet. And we got 3 more towers to do. Woo! Gonna be a little bit of work going on. Right. I'll see you well soon from your perspective. From my perspective, probably weeks. But from your perspective, I'll see you real soon. intro again. Well, here we are on the final lift of the watchtowers. You can see that I've made progress with all of them, and this is the final level. You can't go any higher than this. But if you want a roof, which you would like a roof, it's threatening to rain now. The rain will probably go away, but it's threatening to rain now. If you want a roof, you need tin sheets, and you need 6 tin sheets per tower. So 6, 6, 6, and 6. That's 24 tin sheets. So I need to go and get myself 24 tin sheets, which will be fun. And then I'll be back, and we'll be able to start finishing off these towers. And I can give you guys a bit of a rundown on exactly all of the time, material, and resources that it took to do all this. So I'll see you soon. Right, well, welcome back. So, we have all of these lifts done. We now just have to do the roof. We've got all of our tin sheets, as we discussed. So you need 6 sheets to make a roof, and you don't need 20 planks. I believe you need about 17 planks, about 40 or something nails. So let's get this watchtower built, shall we? Quietly, apparently, with the very silent hammer. There goes the roof. It's looking good. It's looking real good. I say. Like it. Right. I got 3 more to do. Right, well, there we are. There's the admin base, but the all-important question you want to know is, what did it take to build this thing? I mean, it's pretty simple. We haven't made it very complicated. And I didn't do this alone. I was ably assisted by Quartermaster C Money, which definitely helps having 2 people, although I did most of the construction myself. But the construction's pretty easy. It's getting the materials is the tricky bit. So if you were planning for something like this, and like I said, bearing in mind this isn't a complete defensible base. I mean, it's nice, don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with it, but there's still things that need to be finished off. It still needs barbed wire all around. It could do with camo. If you wanted to, you could enclose the sides of the watchtowers and so on and so forth. I've left them open as they are. But, this might change and morph over time as we add things to it. We might add more compounds around the outside as part of the build. But as a base build, this is what we have for admin base. So it is 12 wall and fence panels. It has 2 gates, and it has 4 watchtowers. Each wall and fence panel requires 2 logs per base. The lower frame requires 8 nails and 4 planks. The upper frame requires 8 nails and 4 planks. The lower wooden wall requires 8 nails and 5 planks, and the upper wooden wall requires 8 nails and 5 planks. Each wall then requires 2 logs, 32 nails, and 18 planks, giving you a grand total for 12 walls of 384 nails and 216 planks. It's a lot. The gates themselves are a further 2 walls, so a further 2 logs, 8 nails and 4 planks for the lower frame, 8 nails and 4 planks for the upper frame, 8 nails and 5 planks for the lower wall, 8 nails and 5 planks for the upper wall, 32 nails, 18 planks per gate, plus 2 wire to turn your walls into gates. So that is 64 nails, 36 planks, and 2 wire. The total wall build then is 28 logs, 448 nails, 252 planks, and 2 wire. The watchtowers are a little bit different and a little bit more convoluted. So the bottom of my watchtowers is only enclosed on 2 sides, but they're fully enclosed. And to build the watchtower base requires 4 logs, For the lower frame, same as the wall, 8 nails and 4 planks. For the upper frame, 8 nails and 4 planks. For the lower wooden wall, 8 nails and 5 planks. And the upper wooden wall, 8 nails and 5 planks. I have 2 of those walls on the bottom, so you can double all of that. Plus, you need to do the platform base, that's 20 nails and 10 planks, plus the stairs, that's 18 nails and 6 planks. So in total for the Watchtower base, it's 64 nails, 36 planks, and 4 logs. You've then obviously got 2 further lifts. So you've got another for each floor, 4 logs for the support. You've then got a base, which is a further 20 nails and 10 planks. You've got another set of stairs, 18 nails and 6 planks. And you've got 3 lower frames around each lift for mine. So that's 8 nails and 4 planks, but times 3 times on each lift. So you can see obviously that there's 2 lifts there. That's 62 nails and 28 planks per lift. So for each watchtower, that's an additional 124 nails and 56 planks. Then you've got the roof on top, 6 iron sheets, 20 nails, and 5 planks. Finally, what happens when you add all that together? Well, when you add all of that together, for each watchtower, requires 64 logs. Sorry, for the total for the watchtowers, requires 64 logs, 24 iron, 984 nails, and 452 planks. Per watchtower, 16 logs, 6 iron, 246 nails, 113 planks. When you add all of that up with the walls, the total base build is 92 logs, 6 iron, 2 wire, 704 planks, 1,432 nails. So there you go. That's the build. In terms of, I mean, it's a fair amount of kit, don't get me wrong, but again, like I've said, it's not exactly complex. It's pretty simple. It's a pretty simple box with 4 watchtowers. I mean, absolutely, the time and effort is in the watchtowers. The watchtowers take up an enormous amount of resources by themselves. They look good, but they do take up an awful lot of resources by themselves. It may be something that you don't see value in or don't want to do if you're just going to do walls, which is perfectly fine too. In terms of the time it takes to do the build itself, I'd say it took at least a couple of hours to mark it out. It took a couple of hours to dig in all the logs around the base. Because you got to pick them up and you got to move them and then you got to attach them and then you got to dig them in and then you got to pick up your gear and move it around and everything else. So, 3 to 4 hours, let's say, to do all of the base layout, and that's because I had all of the various bits and pieces. To actually hammer all the walls together is probably another couple of hours, because it just takes time. You need to move planks, you need to move nails, you need to hammer in the frames, then hammer in the walls, then move everything around, etc., etc. So that's another couple of hours, and then each watchtower itself probably takes an hour to build in terms of sorting it out, moving it around, and doing the bits and pieces. So there's 4 hours there. So that's about a 10 to 12 hour build, I would say, with a little bit of faff in between, because you have to stop and sharpen things, and you have to stop and eat, and you have to do bits and pieces and all the rest of it. So it's probably 10 to 12 hours to build it once you've got all the resources together. Getting the resources is probably the hardest bit, and that in itself is days and days of effort, depends on how many people you've got out looking for it. It depends on where you're going and how frequently you're going there. It depends on whether it's an official server or not, because official servers, there'll be less loot, so there'll be less things like tin sheets lying around, lumber piles, maybe not, and so on. So definitely base building is something that you have like in progress. So I would say what you need to do is you need to work out exactly what you're going to build and how much of each resource you're going to need, and set up a stash somewhere. And as you're running around, just have a note that you and your crew or whomever is gathering these things together and stashing them for your build, which will come along later. Um, I realized that the one thing that I haven't talked about is the flagpole, because it was a bit of a nightmare to build, um, and I don't think I'm going to cover the flagpole right now in terms of going through building it and everything else. Um, Flagpoles in themselves require an awful lot of effort. You require a few logs, but really it's the rocks. You need 32 rocks to build a flagpole, and the rocks themselves you need to mine individually from like a little rock source. One of these little rock sources over here is perfectly fine. So you need 32 rocks, you need 2 wire, and you need a number of logs. But you need just about every tool I can think of to build it. The base of a flagpole must be hammered in with a sledgehammer. Then you need to add rocks and various bits and pieces, and that has to be done, I think, with a regular hammer. You've got wire that needs to be added with pliers to poles, and then you have your flag itself, which needs to be raised. So I think I'm going to do a completely separate one for the flag, and I'll do that later. But I just wanted to get this to you because there's an awful lot of information, and I don't want to add to the confusion by adding in a flagpole. And I promise I'll do a flagpole build as a standalone later. So there you go. If this is something that you want to do and you want to use as your admin base or as your clan base, maybe you're on a role-playing server where you're not allowed to attack bases. You could do something like this. A whole bunch of different servers out there with a whole bunch of different rules and things. So yeah, have at it. Go have fun. But yeah, be realistic about the numbers you're going to need and sit down and work it all out before you get lost along the way, or disappointed, have half a base, and then find yourself running around to get more stuff. If you do like it, please drop a like. If you do, please subscribe to the channel so you know when the next one of the DayZ builds is coming out. And also, please feel free to drop any comments or any thoughts, any tips, any tricks, any of your builds, anything that you've built and you've had a look at and has been something that you've enjoyed or something that you've tried and hated, do let us know. See you soon. Ta-ta for now.